Hi, I'm Karen Shade Lanier, and this is Cherokee Artist Showcase. Today, we have the privilege of visiting with Christie Frogg. Betty is a Cherokee National Treasure for basketry. She received her designation in 2010, and she has gone on to do actually a lot of different kinds of traditional Cherokee skills and arts, including twining, including traditional clothing. She's also a Cherokee language speaker, which has made her integral to the Cherokee Immersion Charter School and their effort to preserve the Cherokee language. Betty, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
We're really glad to have you with us today. Betty has a new exhibit coming out. It's titled Christie Frogg Carrying Her Culture. It is going on now at the Saline Courthouse Museum in Rose, Oklahoma, and it runs through the end of the year, ending on December 31st. And it features a lot of the flat reed basketry work for which you're very well known, in addition to some of your other skills. And Betty, what do you think of this exhibit, and what do you think that it imparts to everybody who comes to visit and see it?
I'm excited about it. It's just something I've never done anything like this before other than going to the Smithsonian. And I had been going several years to the Smithsonian. In the last 2 years, we haven't got to go because of COVID. And it's always exciting for me to present my culture, what I know, uh, just kind of answer people's questions about what I do, and also my family line, and also Cherokee history, Cherokee language. I am always openly and happy to talk to anyone about anything that they want to ask.
Well, I particularly want to know more about how you got involved in basketry. Is that something that was handed down to you through your family?
My grandparents on my mother's side, they used to make baskets all the time, but they made round reed baskets. Um, I was young when I was watching them make the baskets, and I just I was just kind of in awe as to how they were doing it. But like I said, I was young when they were making baskets. My grandparents were gone quite a while, and when I picked up baskets, I was probably in my early 30s, late 20s when I picked it back up. Everything that I have learned is something that I really, really wanted to learn. If I saw something, I'm like, wow, that's exciting. That looks interesting. I went, found somebody that knew how to make it and where they taught me. And I stuck with it until I actually accomplished what I wanted to know, how to do it, when to gather. Stuff like that is just totally, I don't think exciting is a word for it, but I do get excited when I go gather, like the honeysuckle and the buckbrush and the natural dyes. I love doing stuff like that. I love teaching people that want to learn how to make baskets from me or twining. Uh, I'm always happy to teach somebody that's willing to learn.
And how did you get involved in making the flat reed baskets?
My attraction to the flat reed was because it made beautiful patterns. It was really interested when I got into learning the beginning of the baskets. When you start out with a flat reed basket, the amount of spokes that you put into it, it has to be divisible by 3, 6, 9, or 12. And if those are doesn't work out that way, your patterns will not work. So when I teach an 18 by 18, just a small basket, 18 by 18, and that's 36, and that's divisible by 3, 6, 9, and 12. Like I said, if you're one number off, your pattern will not work no matter how hard you try to make it work until you start counting the spokes again.
That's a good thing you're a teacher then, yeah? Now, I've seen some of your beautiful twining work, some of the hemp purses that you've been made, or
Mm-hmm.
rather, they're bags, I guess is really the
Bags,
better way
uh-huh.
to say that. And I guess I understand that they were more traditionally given to men to carry some of their
Men,
implements, like
exactly.
during hunts.
Mm-hmm.
and of course also for clothing. Are there very many similarities between what you do with twining to what you do with the basketry work?
It's I call it basically the same thing. We weave a basket. Also in twining, twining is just a different way of weaving. It's just like when you twine, you're basically going over behind and over twice as you're weaving. And Lisa Rutherford, who's a living treasure now, she's the one that taught me how to do the twine bags. Also, Noel Grayson, who's another living treasure, also helped me learn about the twine bags. When I had questions, I'd go to Noel Grayson or I'd go to Lisa. But Lisa's the one that showed me how to do different things with it. And Tim's the one that showed me how to put the design into the bag by using what he called a double twist to bring the color up. It was a great learning experience of the twining because I had heard that twining was over 4,000 years old. And there's some pottery shards that have been found that have the actual imprint of the twining that they used back then. And they're really, really old pottery shards that shows twining. And that is very, very interesting. And also twining was used for clothing and also shoes.
Do you have any useful connections between, like, whenever you're teaching your pottery or whenever you're teaching twining or basketry, because you're also a potter? Um, are there any useful connections between teaching those arts and those skills that you use whenever you teach language? You're you're a Cherokee language speaker. That was your first language, and now
Mm-hmm.
you teach children.
Mm-hmm. I love what I do, and I teach basketry to the kids. We'll make some small ones because their hands are small. And so we make small baskets. We make small pinch pots. And we talk about where the clay comes from. We talk about where the basket reed comes from and that you can also get it commercially. But we talk about where we get it naturally. And I will take the kids out and to say, hey, this is honeysuckle. This is what we make baskets with. This is buckbrush. This is also another material that we make baskets with. Um, Round reed baskets is something that I teach to the second graders, and also introduced them last year to flat reed weaving. But I used paper. I used paper cut in 1/4 inch widths, and showing them how to read a pattern because that's one of the skills the second graders are supposed to learn is reading a pattern, how it goes. So I had 3 second graders in summer school. They did a good job in weaving, looking at the pattern, and it was great. I graphed it out, and I said, okay, this is your pattern. This is what you're going to do. You're going to start out over 3. And I said, read it every time there's the darker parts that are colored in. That's where it goes over. So they did a great job in weaving paper. And we didn't have time to actually start on using flat reed. But they did a great job. So it was like a wall hanging when they finished it.
And to add another layer of complexity to it, you also do this all in Cherokee. Is that right?
Yes,
Hmm.
all in Cherokee.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Are you hopeful about what the immersion school is doing, and being able to teach the language to these young students that you see on a daily basis? Are you hopeful for preserving the language?
Yes, I am. I am very hopeful to preserve the language. That was one of my goals when I heard several years ago that our language was dying out. And by teaching the language, you have to teach culture, history, and tradition because if you don't teach that, it's like you're leaving something out just by teaching language. And they have to know where we came from, how they did things, and actually where they're going with the language. And as people have said, our language evolves. And it does, because I know we didn't have words for a computer, a laptop, and stuff like that. And with our consortium group, they come up with words for those. And those are the words that we teach our kids since our language evolves. And at first, it was like, what are you talking about evolving? Coming up with new words for all this new stuff, technology and stuff we had. I was kind of against it. I was like, wait a minute, we didn't have those things. But we have to have a word if we're going to keep teaching our language and teaching these kids. We have to have those words so these kids know what we're talking about. Like the gaming, the computers, laptops, printers. We grew up without them, and we have those words. We have the consortium people, which involves all three Cherokee bands to come up with the words that we need, like math words, math terms, and stuff. Because when I first started teaching, I was like, how would you say this, And what some of the elders that were working here, they said, well, it's a descriptive language, and you have to kind of give a description of what is happening, what it's doing, and come up with a kind of a shorter version for it. And it works. It works.
Well, it's very much having to work within a network of other speakers, it sounds like,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to accomplish this. And that must have been kind of a similar situation whenever you were asked to be one of the co-editors of the 2017 book, Cherokee National Treasures
Mm-hmm.
in Their Own Words. You were also in the book. So tell me what that experience was like.
It was exciting. I got to read everybody's bio, and like I said, like we said, it was in their own words. They got we got to read everything that we said before it was put into a book. And then, as an editor of all the Cherokee words, my job in that one was to listen to what the Cherokee speakers were saying, and to make sure those words were put in correctly in their biography. So it was fun. I got to visit with a lot of people, and I love visiting with other speakers. And it's funny when speakers get together. It's just like we forget about everything else out there, and we're just speaking our language, and it's beautiful.
Sure, it is. It is beautiful. We're just so grateful that you continue to do this kind of work, and are always excited to hear some of the future projects that you work on. Now, just to kind of round this off, I will let everybody know that Betty does also voiceover work for our program, OCO Voices of the Cherokee People. She teaches the Cherokee language lessons and has done so for what? This will be your third season coming up?
Actually, I think it's been longer. I think it's been
Oh my
like
gosh.
4. Yeah.
4, okay,
Um,
okay.
yeah, I think it's been. I was trying to think of the kids that I started out with. I think they're in the 7th grade this year, or 8th grade. It's been fun. I enjoyed doing that with the Let's Talk Cherokee segment of OCO TV. They would give us a list of words they wanted the kids to say. So I was in the background, yay. And I was just would tell the kids how to say it. And the kids loved it. They got to go to makeup and get their hair fixed before they went on TV. And I love seeing the look on their faces, because it was happy. It was something they hadn't done before. So this year they changed the format to on OCO Let's Talk Cherokee. They have a animated character, which is actually using my voice again. And I was coaching Daisy Starr. She's one of my former second graders. Her name is Uwodia, and that's the name we use in the Let's Talk Cherokee segment. And my animated character's name is C. Nost. And so we use Awardia, her Cherokee name, during this new season that's come up. I'm not read any reviews on the new character, but Jeremy Charles said it was going really good. So if he says it's going real good, it's going real good.
That's not the only animated character that you do. Tell me a little bit about the animated series that you took part in, that you are
Oh my
taking part
gosh,
in
that was
currently.
the most fun.
Mhm.
Voice character. I tried out. I thought I'll never get it, but I got called and said, "Okay, we want you to be one of the voices of the new cartoon that we're making, all in Cherokee. It's going to be called Inagei." And I thought, "Wow, really?" Um, I read the script, and my character is the rabbit, Dai. She's everybody says that character fits you. I thought, no, I don't. But she's like she likes to create things for those characters to do. She gets them in trouble, but somehow she gets them back out. So everybody says that's you. And I actually received a jump drive from Howard Payton a week ago, with the 3 episodes. Actually, there's 4, but the 3 episodes that we had shown. So I actually have those for my kids to watch in the classroom.
We are really excited to see more of that, more of your efforts in that area as well. But really looking forward to seeing the reception of your show taking place at the Saline Courthouse Museum. And again, that exhibit is called Betty Christie Frogg, Carrying Her Culture, and it runs now through the end of the year, ending on December 31st. It's in Rose, Oklahoma. Really hope that everybody gets a chance to go out and see it. So, Betty, you have anything else to add to that?
No, not really. I'm excited about this. I've never done anything like this before, so I can't wait.
Just
What else?
another one to check off your list of things I've got to do.